Welcome back. Hi traders. I'm looking at the Aussie versus the US dollar here. I actually took a long here, held my stop under here, and obviously got stopped out for that amount of money. Looking to see if this could, come up, hold here, and move back up, but it's just not done it. I will just keep an eye on it while I'm just finishing off, but because there's massive touches here at this 90-90 level. But at the moment, the daily is looking pretty ill. We've got an hour and a half until the Dow closes, so I would be interested to see if we get any kind of pickup. But here on the 4 hour, it's just not holding. There is a hammer retest going on here. So if this test of that hammer holds and we can start to close higher, there's the Sunday open here, then we could be on, but at the moment we are not. So I will stand aside of that one. If you look at the daily, it just looks as if we could head south at the moment. Just rotate back to the trend and drop down here. I think the main reason for this chart is the gold is just not doing it. The gold's just fallen through support today, so I took a tiny marker position at a level here, I think around about 1238. Just let myself got stopped out and standing aside. So we're seeing strength in the dollar, and that is noticeable in the US dollar CAD and the US dollar Swissy, and more importantly the US dollar yen. Okay, so we've got major resistance at 103.30. But if we look at the weekly, the high is 103.66. It could break out though, because if you look at what's happening to this weekly, the major sort of fib level is 105. Who knows? We've got non-farm payroll end of this week. This is a beautiful flag setup. If you did get long somewhere down here on a contract and just sat in it, we could see that going to 105, because the RSI on this weekly chart gives it plenty of room. So on a daily, this is still worth buying a pullback. If we can test 102.63 tomorrow, that's a relatively close stop in getting that. So I would suggest you might want to do that. It is high RSI though. Let's look at the other yen pairs. Pound yen. Not quite as enthusiastic, but still nonetheless bullish. We are extremely overbought, and we had a situation here in December last year, as it happens, that stayed RSI red right through December into January. At the moment we're getting a repeat of that. I was looking for a pullback. I'm not in this because I was looking for a pullback, and that's not helped me. I was anticipating that would come down a little bit at least to 167.35 area, and it's just not done it. Okay, so I'm going to have to stay out of that. Aussie US. So we've got great weakness in the yen and some strength coming through in the dollar. That's a pullback at 135.60 for a short. Because if we're going to, we're just seeing a lot of strength in the dollar, and so I would short that 50% fibs. Put an alarm on there and put an order in the book as well. And your stop's pretty close, 620, 625. There's only 35, about a 55 point stop. Let's see if we can at least come down to these lower levels. Okay, and pound US we've looked at. Euro yen, I did actually short this and got stopped out for break even. I've not made any money today. A couple of trades, one small stop out. No, I actually lost money, lost a few points. We've not breached this reversal bar, but that's certainly very strong. Would I buy a pullback in that? Not all the time, not when we haven't breached that reversal bar, because if we can still, that reversal bar is still counting to me. If we break the low of that at the 900 mark, just under, then that could come tumbling down. Dow, with an hour and a half to go, is on its way down to 16,000. I think we at least need a retest of that to get this market going, get the bulls back in. Because this, Friday left us with a reversal bar. If we don't close higher than that, we're at least going to come down and test this trend line, and maybe we won't hold. Who knows? Aussie dollar is still holding up. Euro pound, drifty. That's such a slow mover. That's taken a week to do. What's it? 120 points. So, what are we going to do? I would suggest you might want to get in on this US dollar yen. I would stand aside of the Aussie unless we're getting a little bit of a push up here. Let's have a look at the 60-minute chart. But yeah, like I said, if this holds on the hour, that could come and re-attack that trend line and break through. But stand aside. Aussie yen did do as I planned on the daily. Not convincing, but that's certainly it's a higher close nonetheless. If the Aussies don't reduce their rates and we break 94, we'd see 96 pretty soon. Oil has had a good day. You can see how I've drawn this one out. This was a major level of support from Friday. So that is now a pullback to 93.50 tomorrow. Because if we can break this trend line, we could punch our way up to at least 96. We're getting a nice close into the pick close. Okay, so I like US dollar yen to the upside. I'm still staying aside on the Aussie US. Aussie yen is doing its thing as well. Pound yen has had a great day. Aussie Euro yen is sitting under resistance. So I like US dollar yen and oil on a pullback, and watching Aussie US to see if that can move. Okay, let's just have a quick look at some stocks now. So if you're a stock trader, stay tuned in this video, because what have we got? We've got Premier Foods. Watching this very carefully. This is such a crucial level for Premier. If we shuffle sideways but close above 1, 2, 3, because we've got a hammer here which we've not breached, I'll be a buyer. But if we just roll over, then I'll stand aside and watch for lower levels. And what else do I like? Barclays. I'm in Barclays, suffering a pullback here. If that gets back to 265 and holds, you might want to get into that. At the moment, that is not a reversal pattern, but certainly a shaky bar at resistance. And rolls. A little peek out of that area there, and we're back inside this box. So if we can retest this 150 area at least, With a box play, it's quite often to come out of a box and then just peek back in it. Come out of the box and then peek back in it. That's common. Now, if this is really bullish, this at some stage this is going to break. But I think this might well come right down here and then bust up. If that's going to break, I think you'll see a wiggle pattern here. That's the first wiggle which worked. So if this wiggle, if we come back in the box and have a nice decent pullback, I would be suggesting you might want to follow me into another trade on that one. US stocks. eBay. It's gapped up and it has been sold into the gap. So what I'm going to do with eBay is I would like to buy 50.76. But I'm going to just stand aside, let eBay do its thing. It's not been a great stock. So again, that's peaked outside of its box, found some buyers and come back in. This is common, in a bull flag. A drop lower before the run is very common, just to get the volume into it. Goldman's having a good day. Google, potentially a short signal if that doesn't hold up into the close. Facebook I've been watching. So I think Facebook is a go. We're got a lot of moving averages on there. We're right under that trend line. I think that's worth a shot at 46. 46 if you see it. Hold out. I'm going to hold out 46. Stop under those lows and see if we can go. Bank of America. Nice breakout. High RSI. BlackBerry had a bit of a bounce, but not doing very well. That could simply rotate back to the trend there. Alright, so take it easy. Not a lot going on. Need to get this week going before we can really take some new positions. Okay, hope that helps and have a good evening.